The Milwaukee Brewers have made multiple moves ahead of the series against the Philadelphia Phillies after the rosters expanded. Today, we're going to be breaking these moves down, going over what this means for the current Brewers lineup as well as going forward, what things could change as we progress towards the postseason and through a very busy and difficult month of September. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss here in this video. Before we jump into today's game with, of course, another game and another big series coming against this time an NL opponent who is yet still very good. Similar to the Blue Jays, it's going to be a tough one. Before we do jump into this video, though, be sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. We just hit 800 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. We're 200 away from 1K. Your support's been absolutely phenomenal as we cover this team day in and day out with many surprises coming along the way, but we also know it's just over 98%. You guys still have not hit that sub button that are watching right now, so be sure to do so if you're looking for your Brewers news. But we need to jump straight into this because, of course, today the roster's expanded September 1st. You are now allowed to add one extra position player and one extra pitcher, and the Brewers did just that, as today they added Joey Ortiz off the 10-day IL, which is a very good move for someone who has been swinging the bat very well, and after we've seen quite a few errors on the kind of the positionary situation right now between second and short, and most notably last game, which ultimately kind of put us in a bit of a rut in that game against the Blue Jays with Andrew Vaughn getting a much undeserved error on that play, but that's something, once again, for a later day. Definitely an interesting decision there, but good to see Joey Ortiz back as well, since he was swinging the bat very good before he did go on the IL. And they've also recalled Craig Yoho from the Nashville Sound, once again bringing him back up to this lineup. And this is a very interesting one that we're going to jump into here in a moment. But I first wanted to continue to touch on Joey Ortiz, because, of course, he was a big loss that we did get when he went on the IL. And we saw a pretty big drop-off, a significant drop-off, actually, I should say, when he did go into his last 7 games. Now, you could tell he was dealing with some sort of injury, which ultimately led to him going on the IL. But as you saw from his last 15 games and the last 30 games, his average, his OPS, everything that you're looking for has been phenomenal. He's been a very, very good hitter, a very consistent hitter, and he's taking his time at the plate, which is something as well that is really going to help him get that little bit extra experience and also help him at the plate when he's going up and facing some of these big-name pitchers that we are going to see this month. So, let alone from his help on shortstop, what he's going to bring to this team, and how much we actually missed him. It was pretty evident when he was gone that there was a big hole on shortstop, and even in the lineup's been going good, the order's been going good, everything has been phenomenal on the offense side of the ball. But adding Joey Ortiz back and having him hopefully jump back into what he's done the last month, really, it's going to be a big boost to have him back in this lineup, and once again, gives us another addition to be able to make on the offensive side of things, on the defensive side of things, and it gives the Brewers another option to come into this lineup and have some confidence in being able to switch things around here, game in, game out, mid-game as well, if you're going on a pinch hitter or a pinch runner, things like that. That's what's really going to matter now, coming down to the depths of this season and getting in towards the September, post-September, post-season, early October. That's where we're going to see a lot of these very smart ball teams like this Milwaukee Brewers team and like Pat Murphy's done throughout the season. That's when they're really going to shine. So good to see Joey Ortiz back, and hopefully he comes back as good as he left. Now, going into the other move as well, Craig Yoho is a very interesting move to bring him back up to the MLB. And as you see this year with the Milwaukee Brewers in 7 games, frankly, he's been terrible. I think there's no other way of saying that. I mean, a 2.2 whip, having an 8.22 ERA, many people consider him, and just see that and say, hey, why are we bringing him up? But when you're taking a look at his Nashville stats, he's been absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal in 39 games down there this year with 19 started. A 1.04 ERA with a 1.015 whip. This is like phenomenal stats, and I was genuinely shocked seeing that, really not even paying attention more so from when he was with the Brewers compared to down in Nashville. This is another good opportunity to see him back up at this level and get to show really what he's made of again. And I think that he certainly can do this and will help out this very injury-depleted bullpen. And I'm going to jump into the injuries here as well in a minute, which could cause a few more moves to be made down the line. But I think this is a very good opportunity to give Craig Yoho another look at the MLB and see if he can bounce back. And of course, if things go well, if things are going the way they have this year in Nashville, you keep him up. There's no doubt about that. But when you're coming towards the postseason, you want to check the guy out now before you get closer to that time in the season. You don't want to kind of cause any mistakes at that point there. But when you're taking a look now at these stats and taking a look at from, the MLB to the AAA comparison, it's a very good opportunity because when we do as well go take a look at the IL right now, we have an incredible amount of names here on this list. And you have a guy like Rhys Hoskins, who is kind of coming back and still on his rehab assignment. DL Hall, Grant Anderson, Trevor McGill. I mean, those three right there, three bullpen names that are, pretty valuable to this team throughout the season, still on the IL. And I mean, you go down as well to Connor Thomas. Then you have your starter in Logan Henderson, who may be a bullpen name come this year, maybe a starter come the postseason, depending on what the Brewers are trying to do with their arms. And this is something that we kind of spoke about as well when him and today's starter, Jacob Misiorowski, did get down to their starts and, their innings limit. And this is a big kind of worry for Brewers fans, which I don't think we should actually worry about, especially the way that we've seen this team be able to handle this before. We're going to be in the clear. But, when it comes down to it, when you're having another extra month of baseball in the postseason, that's where things can get a bit worrisome for a few people. So it is understandable why, you're making a lot of these pitching moves, why you may see some of these names come up from AAA over the next couple weeks as we go into the postseason, just to conserve some arms. But you're also trying to fight for that buy spot. So this is not really an easy month as it may seem. And we're going to kind of jump into that as well from an article from The Athletic here in a moment here from this video. But looking at the IL right now, and of course looking at the few moves that were made today, I think that we're going to see quite a few different up and downs here over the next couple weeks. So let me know what you think about these moves in specific. Of course, mainly Craig Yoho. We haven't seen him in a while, so let me know what you think about him and what he may be able to do to this team for them in the bullpen. But moving on in this video as well, as I mentioned, we have a few updates regarding tonight's game, the game in about an hour, 2 hours at this point, but also going into The Athletic, who spoke about a very interesting topic on this month and the importance and the difficulty that they may face here in this one. So this is what they had to say, mainly from Stephen Nesbitt here. The immediate importance of this series is the best record in baseball. Brewers is to add cushion in their effort to secure a wild card bye. It'll also prove a few key data points as the Brewers prepare for a postseason in which they have a good shot of seeing the same Phillies on a grander stage. So this is a pretty early matchup of what we may see in the postseason, and I think that this is probably going to be the most important series of the month. And I spoke about this month here in a couple of videos ago, and I don't know if I do have the screenshot here. And I do not. I do, actually. This one here. Taking a look at this month, of course. The Phillies going through it. You have a few other games as well. You're playing the Cardinals twice. You're playing the Reds again. You're playing the Pirates, the Rangers, the Padres, a few other games like that. But when you're getting down to the weeds of it, this Phillies series, which of course starts today, a break tomorrow, and then a Wednesday-Thursday game, this is going to be a very tough series. Very similar to the Blue Jays, but it's an opponent that you may see before the Blue Jays if you end up meeting them in the World Series. So this is going to be a good preview. I think it's another opportunity to be able to watch and learn a lot from their opponent here, and I expect a few different looks from this Brewers team, not necessarily in the lineup, but I think Pat Murphy has done his research, done his studying, and is really going to take a deep dive into this Phillies team throughout this series. Now, of course, as we do get into tonight's game and everything, we're looking at a very good set of moves, and of course, Luis Urias still available to come up here, which we haven't seen today and may happen with some other move that could be made later this month of Joey Ortiz coming back into this lineup, which is another thing I wanted to point out. But heading into tonight's game, Jacob Misiorowski going up against Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker playing phenomenal this year. So this is going to be a game where, you're fighting for some more wins, gain some traction on the Phillies as well and the Cubs, get back into a very good rhythm of winning and also showing teams like this that you're the better team. You may not have the better team on paper, but this team can overpower any pitcher, and I think this is going to be a good one. Another very good look from Jacob Misiorowski tonight. Get to see where and what kind of pitch limit he may be on, if any. So keep an eye on that as well before we do jump into this game here now in a couple hours. But that's all I have in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. Give me your predictions for tonight's game or this evening's game, and also let me know what you think about the moves that have been made by the Brewers. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.